Hey, Moral Gamers, we're back. Today we're talking about digital versus disc. So, question is, do you prefer your discs or do you prefer the digital? Now, there's been a long-running debate as to when consoles are going to move straight to digital, and let's just kind of take this step by step as much as we can. But look back for a second. Uh, the classic Xbox, and I'm going to say classic to avoid confusion between the Xbox One and the original Xbox, but the classic Xbox basically started offering a couple games here and there. I think it was like Pac-Man, some chintzy little ones, as digital downloads. And I don't think they sold very well, but the idea was new at that point for consoles. Meanwhile, Valve has been doing it through Steam, so there definitely was a service space created elsewhere. So So now you have this option where, hey, I can download this game and I can play it without a disc. Whoa, sweet. That's awesome, guys. Because look at this. Look at this. I don't have to go over to my console. I can sit on my couch and I can just switch games. I don't even have to flop the disc out, whatever. It seems convenient. But there's a darker side to the software as a service. By the way, new term if you're not familiar with it, software as a service is what they call digital downloads. Because you don't own that. You're receiving the software as a service. This is now a service to you. This is no longer your games. So that copy of Modern Warfare you got there, or a copy of Black Ops that you purchased as a digital download, you don't own the game. You have a service, a subscription to a service that allows you to play it so long as, and I'll get into this more, so long as it's available. But let's go back to the beginning here for a moment there. And, for me, I started on an Atari 5200. My first system was a 2600, but I actually started gaming on a 5200. And we had these things called cartridges. And it's kind of doesn't roll off the tongue as easy these days. It sounds like a German warfare or something, but your cartridge was, this it's not quite a disc, and it's not quite a flash drive, but it's this bulky thing that you'd slam into a system and pray to God it works. In the Nintendo days, the original Nintendo, you'd blow on these things, and obviously you were the only person who knew exactly how to blow on your Nintendo to get it to work. So you'd slide them in, not working, pull out, slide it back in, not working, rinse, repeat a few times. Got fairly interesting because many people would go through cycles of this finally. But finally, you could tell a hardcore gamer because after about 20 times of doing it, he'd still be going at it. I can get it to work, I swear. But anyway, cartridges lasted till about the N64. You could argue Game Boy Advance was the last system. I kind of consider the N64 because that was the last console. But what ended up happening after that was Sony with the PlayStation 1 started using discs, and so we had discs becoming the king. Even the GameCube adopted discs. So Nintendo's like, I guess we'll go along with it. Now everything's still a disc of some form. Your Wii U, you're still using optical discs, optical drive. PlayStation 4 is supposed to have an optical drive. Xbox One is supposed to have an optical drive. So that's basically gaming media progressing. So why do I bring up the history of media? Because we've had it ever since the beginning of gaming. Since the beginning, I guess if you really want to say the original system to have content downloaded directly onto it was Super Pong. Does anyone remember Super Pong? About 8 different variants of the game. And so what do? You don't switch cartridges in and out. You just flip the switch and you can go from 1 paddle, 2 paddles. We're playing catch now. Somebody's got a wall. Different versions of Pong. Whatever, guys. But having games downloaded, though, and we're talking Xbox, PC to a degree, but, Xbox, because I'm focusing more on consoles here in this discussion. And so now we have this very convenient way of gaming because, like, my PlayStation 3 is a 500 gig PlayStation 3, so I can store a crap ton of games on it. I have almost 200 games right now on my PlayStation 3 hard drive, and it's not full. You know, I have almost 200 games. Hard drive's not full. I just keep throwing more games on there. Sony keeps giving them for free. Great. I mean, that's very convenient. Convenient way to pack your library, pad your library. But yeah. So I need to digress back to disc. But so we'll just wrap it up quick on the disc end. On the disc end, that's where we started. You know, we're used to it, and what do? You're done with the disc, so you take it into Funkoland. Anyone remember Funkoland? They were originally a mom pop type shop. Then they were bought out by Babbage, and then Babbage was bought out by Electronics Boutique, and then eventually GameStop now owns all of them. It'd be rare to find a Funkoland, but they were buying your used games. So you beat the living daylights out of Mario 3. What do? Go into I'm just gonna say GameStop, but it was Funkoland when I was a kid. You go into a GameStop. Hey, I want to get some money back for this. You know, they used to give you cash, then it started with store credit. Now it's kind of like they went back to the cash, but still, whatever. You could get something back for your used game. This meant that, hey, it had a second life. Games had second lives versus you know, a digital download. It's yours and it never transfers anywhere. So with these secondhand games, I could go in and I could get a copy that someone played to death of Super Mario Brothers for pennies on the dollar. I mean, it was really nice because usually if they were good, the games would go for half price. You get them for about half price used versus full price for a new. And they'd give you about a quarter of the price in trade-in, which kind of sucked, but, you know, whatever. They got to make money. So, yeah, I'd be able to get these games for cheaper, and it was wonderful because then I didn't spend as much on my gaming as a kid. And, hey, it was awesome. I mean, there's not a whole lot I can say about it. It was just awesome. Now, we're moving forward to this digital downloads, you know, software as a service. And what do you have? Well, you basically have the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii, you know, all of these, and now the new consoles are going to do it as well. The Wii U, of course, is already out. Xbox One, PlayStation 4, where you're just downloading games to it now. And I should probably add that the PSP was the first handheld, by the way, to allow you to download full games to it. Not this share a game thing that the Game Boy Advance was doing. Although that was pretty neat in its own respects. So you're able to download games to your system. Wonderful. Again, you don't have to get up to flip the switch to say, see me not flip the switch, but you don't have to get up to trade the cartridge out, trade the disc out, because you want to play a different game. You just go through your library, select it, say, hey, nope, I want that game now. I want to switch from playing Call of Duty to, kids are here now, you know, we'll play Rayman or something like that. You know, you could switch really easily, which, beautiful, wonderful convenience. You know, but now there's a darker side to that too, though, because demos only show you so much of a game. I remember, what was the game? I remember Fairy Tale Fights. Demo came out. All the demo is this little battle arena. Doesn't show you what the levels are like. Doesn't give you anything for the story. And it's just this little battle arena, and you get to experience what fighting's like, and after you're done with the fighting, this giant guy comes in, steps on everyone, essentially killing the board, and then walks out. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute, guys, wait a minute. That's all you're going to show me? Is just how the game plays? You're not going to show me what a level progresses like? You're not going to give me a sliver of the story? Okay. You know, that's one example where, you know, the poor marketing on their behalf, but if somebody really liked that and thought, oh, hey, this is just a battle arena game, boy, were they in for a surprise. And then you have games like Infamous 2. Infamous 2 did a wonderful job with their demo. Wonderful. They take and they give you a snippet of what's like to play as the light side, snippet of what's like to play as the dark side, and show you how he gets his powers by giving you a snippet of the story. I mean, that was wonderful. You know, that gave you just enough to figure out, well, hey, do I want to play Infamous 2 or no? But But what's going on though with these downloads is that once you buy the download, once you buy the software as a service, you purchase the service, I should start saying. Once you purchase the service, you're stuck because now you have nothing that trades in. And we'll take Tomb Raider, because Tomb Raider for me is a more recent example. Had a friend, he beat Tomb Raider the first night of his rental. He had it rented for 3 nights, beat the living daylights out of it. Day 1. And he's like, that was a short game. Glad I didn't pay $60 for it. Okay. If you were to get the demo to Tomb Raider, you would have seen, just a snippet of it. Nothing that really would have shown you how easy the game was. You would have just received just a snippet of the game, and so it's like, okay, fair enough, guys. This looks cool, whatever. Probably would have gone out and bought it because demos are usually showing you the best of a game. Not the worst. Not the tedium. And so, in that event, your 15 minutes of demo would have led to a $60 purchase that you would have been regretting within 24 hours. Sounds like fun, huh? But that's just the way it works out sometimes. And in demo land, yeah, never enough. So that's why renting is so great, because you can rent a game, and I'm sure somebody out there, I'm saying this now, and I'm gonna say this now. Somebody's probably gonna copy the idea, but that's marketing for you. But they're probably going to do something at some point where you can rent our game. You can rent this game for so much. And it's going to be a little bit more than a quarter of the price or something like that. They'll figure out a model where they let you play the game for so many hours, and then after that time frame, the game expires. It's similar to Sony's, if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you can play an hour worth of demo of this game. They'll probably do something like that eventually, but whatever. Oh, and loading time counts against you too. Smile. But no, essentially though, you can't get a full idea of what a game is if you're just playing the demo, and you'll end up making a mistake if it's got a great demo, but the full game ends up to be extremely repetitive. But now, the main issue I have with software as a service is that someone controls my gaming. Someone's controlling my gaming. With Xbox One, I know it's rumored to have to dial home. I know PlayStation 4, they've talked about something similar. PlayStation 3, with some of the downloads, if you don't connect to the network once every 3 months, that particular download is not gone, but you're unauthorized for it, and they recommend you uninstall it. So there was a point where I took my PlayStation over to a friend's house. We were gonna hit up some, what was it? Think Mortal Kombat, Virtua Fighter, some fighting game. We were gonna hit it up for a little bit, and I hadn't used that game in 3 months. So he didn't have internet at the time. He was going through a horrible divorce, but tries to connect, says nope, can't, says nope, can't validate that you have proper authorization to use this game. Sorry. Wait, what? This is a game I'm entitled to. I've paid money for this software as a service. Really, guys? Really? So at that point in time, we ended up having to play some inferior versions of the games. No, it was Virtua Fighter, so yeah, it would have been Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, and I had the original Virtua Fighter 5. So yeah, we ended up having to play the original, which isn't as good. There's a few features missing. But still, though, it's an oddity because they're controlling your gaming, whoever it is that you've purchased the service from. And at the end of the day, you have nothing to show for it. So, taking that Tomb Raider, for instance, again, with Tomb Raider, you're screwed. You beat it the first night, you can't ask for a refund. Well, you can, but they're not going to give it to you because you obviously played the game. You can't go back and say, oh, nope, I did not want this. Did not want this. It didn't work. We show that you played it for 8 hours. Are you telling us that you sat at the loading screen for 8 hours? Yeah. Unlikely, because you've got some trophies from it. Okay. I mean, you pretty much get screwed at that point. Because you have no way of recouping your investment, which sucks for the gamers. The main thing though, I mean, and I hope you do comment below, because I do want to hear what you guys think on this. But the main thing with software as a service versus digital is you can have my games when you pry them from my cold dead fingers. Because that disc is my property. That disc is my property. You cannot take it from me. Now they might do something silly and say, you know, they might do something to spite the gamers later on where you have to check in, dial in, stuff like that with your discs. But I think that would be a mistake. You know, there are people in low to no internet areas who do have access to PlayStation 3, will get a PlayStation 4, stuff like that, because that's their only form of entertainment. You're living out in the woods, nothing else to do. You know, but for the most part, though, I am still a very strong proponent of. I gotta wrap it up here, guys, but I'm a strong proponent of the physical media. You know, it keeps the used game industry in business, which is good for people like my friend at Guerrilla Games, St. Cloud. Got to put the plug in there. He's helped me out with a few games here and there. It really does keep the gaming industry, used gaming industry going, and it keeps games cheaper and more affordable. Now, if you really want to do something to make up for the fact that people are buying used games, which, yes, I know, if I buy a used copy of Halo, Microsoft doesn't get a dime on that. Yeah, they can do stuff like, oh, let's see here, we're gonna add some new DLC. Hey, you're paying for the DLC. Look at Modern Warfare. No, Black Ops. Black Ops, $14. $14 for an additional 4 maps maybe. What the? That's insane. $14. But people pay it. And they've obviously figured out a way to deal with the used gaming industry, so hey, make great DLC. That's what's going to drive me as a gamer to purchase more from you as a company. Great DLC. Because if I love a game, Borderlands is a good example. I bought every single download pack because I love the game, even though I bought it used. So if I love the game, I'm going to buy the DLC. If I don't like the game, they never should have made it. Well, like I said, it's getting late here, guys. I gotta sign off. Happy gaming. Oh, and don't forget to leave your comments below. Make sure you like or dislike this. Doesn't matter to me. Alright, take care.